Ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages, welcome to our show. We have gathered together from the cosmic reaches of the multiverse, two of the nerdiest geeks to be found. We proudly present the Professor and her geeky girlness herself, Ace. And now it's time. GeekyKOOL presents Professor and Ace.
Hey everybody, welcome to GeekyKOOL presents Professor and Ace, episode 80. So we've taken a few weeks off to be able to do stuff with conventions and some other stuff, but we're back. Someone went on a honeymoon or something. I don't know.
Somebody got married at a convention.
Somebody got married at a convention, which we're going to talk about since we're going to talk about that convention, in fact.
Oz-Con 22. Oh my goodness. What's up, Professor? You're like...
Well, you know, we've had Oz-Con and then we had VisionCon back to back, which having conventions back to back is a lot of fun when you're 20. And it's not, I mean, it's still a lot of fun, but oh my goodness, it takes a while to recuperate.
It's exhausting. It's so exhausting. So, yeah. Like, I and my new husband had two conventions and then a honeymoon.
Right.
In between the two conventions, we came back, like in between getting married and the honeymoon, we came back to work for a week. So there was that. Because, you know, I had things to do. I had things to tie up at the paper and stuff, so.
Right. You gotta do the whole job thing. You know, the whole thing where gonna have to make a living and all that.
Responsibility.
You gotta pay the bills and other things. So we got Keith in our IM already saying that he's missed us and says hi. He signed in and it's showing up as GeekyKOOL, so I won't throw that all up there. But I figured it was Keith because he said, missed you guys, and I thought it probably was Keith. I didn't want to say anything for sure, but it is Keith. So we missed you too, Keith. And we also have Mandy. Hey, Mandy. So good to see Mandy. Mandy was at Oz-Con with us. So
Mandy was amazing.
Mandy's always amazing.
Yes, but she was so helpful for me as
with the wedding and.
Oh my gosh! Yeah.
Well,
I mean, it was very low key, but you know.
I don't know. I'd call it low key.
It was low key, like. You know, it wasn't like it was a production.
People thought it was a production. We'll get back to that. So Oz-Con was a couple of weeks ago.
Yes.
And 3-day convention, West Plains. For those that don't know, we did talk a lot about it beforehand. But
April through the 24th.
Yes. And on the 23rd was a very special day because you got married that day. You and Spoo. Yeah, look at that. Got to show off the ring, the bling. Yeah, there you go.
I'm super proud of this thing because I didn't pick it at all. Like, he picked it completely by himself.
And he did a great job of it.
Yeah.
Did a great job of it. So,
but we love Oz-Con. So.
We do love Oz-Con. So the guys at Oz-Con, guys and gals, I use guys as a non-gender thing. Maybe I shouldn't, but the guys and gals at Oz-Con are amazing. They are family. CJ, the whole crew, they're just awesome. So we love Oz-Con. I'm so glad you picked Oz-Con to get married in. So it's just awesome. Keith now says, hey there, Keith. So Oz-Con, 3-day thing. We had a booth. We had people come in. People were coming in for the wedding. So we had 7 people with GeekyKOOL at Oz-Con. We flooded Oz-Con. Hopefully everybody that came by got to know who GeekyKOOL was because there were enough of us.
I hope so. Like, I was a little distracted.
Well, there's a lot going on for you. So of course we had you and Spoo, and me, and then we had Mandy and Ashley and John and who am I missing?
Wyatt.
What?
Wyatt? Is it Wyatt or Eli?
No, Eli. It's Eli. It's Eli. I'm sorry, Eli. Oh my gosh, my brain just went.
Two kids like names, Mandy. Forgive me, I get them mixed up. I'm like, which one's the oldest?
Right. And Eli, I know you may be watching. I'm sorry it wasn't you. It's me. When you get certain age, you start forgetting
He's
things.
old. He's
Yeah,
old.
I'm old. That's exactly what it is. Keith says, hey, Keith, I need to go to Oz-Con. Yes, you do, Keith. Next year, you're coming with us, buddy. Coming with us. We'll share our table with you, and
Or you get your own
or
table.
get your own table. That's also true. We can refer to you as we do the nerd informants and call you the what was it, the something competition. I can't remember what it was that I called them.
Distinguished.
The distinguished competition. Yeah, Stan Lee. Sorry. Again, I'm old. I've worked all day.
You see, we're more Marvel. It's fine. It's
Yeah,
fine.
that's all right. That's all right. Yeah. I get them confused too. Yeah, parents do that. Call them the wrong name. Yeah, that happens.
I never had that problem, but I had Dakota and Ashley, so.
Right. And I've got Natasha, who's 8 years older than Logan, so don't easily get them confused. But I can see if they're together.
Together in age.
Yeah, right. Thanks, Keith. Yeah, Oz-Con is amazing. So we love Oz-Con. Nice 3-day convention. Got to meet some cool people. Got to meet a couple of voice actresses that were really awesome.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, those ladies were amazing. We and got to get Morgan a signed autograph. So that was really cool.
Yeah, one of the voice actresses who is there is she has voiced several characters from like Pokemon,
right?
And like I literally texted my son. I was like, "Do you want this?" He says, "No, it's okay, Mom." But thank you for thinking of me because my son.
Well, that's nice, right? It's always good to think of him.
I did literally. It was this gonna sound terrible. Do not take this wrong, my new husband. But one of the best things that happened on Saturday was right before the wedding. I was back in the dressing room. They gave me a dressing room with Ashley, who was my maid of honor, and we FaceTimed my son. So,
which is pretty awesome, most definitely.
But yeah, so I was really excited about that. Like, I was very sad that he wasn't there, but I got a new daughter.
That's true. You got a new daughter in this.
Who's obsessed with calling me mom now. I got this a great text. We took her back home to her mom on Thursday after we got back from Oz-Con. We had her for a few more days. We took her back to her mom, and I got this text from Nyx, and that said, "By the way, Lex is obsessed with her new mom."
Aww.
Like, you can't stop talking about the fact that you're her new mom. So that was very, very sweet.
It definitely, yeah, that's very sweet. I love that she's that into the new mom also, and that other mom is not so insecure about it. That's also awesome.
Oh no,
sometimes
I am bonus mom. I'm all good. We're great like that. So,
that's good.
We had a lot of fun at Oz-Con. Like
we had a great time. So we've got some little comments here. So Roselle.
Hi, Mister.
And we've got Keith saying, so Keith, we'll have to get more information on what's going on there. I know you've got some inside scoop. I know there are changes coming because of ownership changes, so it'll be interesting to see what happens. Mandy's got a question for you, and I know the answer.
I do have a picture of the cake the Oz-Con staff gave me.
At least one, if not more, because I sent you one.
You sent me one. I have one from the Nerd Informants. Josh took one.
Good.
And then
distinguished competition.
And then Spoo took one when they took us in separately before the wedding to show us. But we weren't going to do cake.
Right.
He knows this. Mandy knows we were going to just do cookies, which, by the way, Mandy, the cookies were amazing. Mandy's aunts own a bakery in West Plains. And so that's where we got our cookies from. If you want to put the name of the bakery up, that would be great because I can't remember it. But no, the Oz-Con staff surprised us with a 3-tier wedding cake that was delicious. And I could actually taste it. I can't eat a lot of it because of my diabetes, but I actually got to taste it and not worry about allergies because they took
See?
all my allergies into account.
Because they were so thoughtful. They got your allergy list from you, and tell people what was on the cake because
So the whole theme for Oz-Con was villains. And so they asked me, and I didn't even think about it just because the theme was villains. They asked me a few weeks prior to the con what our favorite villains were. And of course, Schmooze is easy.
right.
Everybody knows the Riddler is his favorite villain.
Yep.
That's why he cosplays as him. And mine, I love the evil queen from Snow White. I love the different interpretations of her throughout the years. So the cake, the first tier was like riddle me this. The second tier was mirror mirror, and on the top, as a bride, was an apple, and as the groom was the question mark. So it was kind of epic.
That is epic. Mandy did post that. Let's throw that up there. Creative Cakes 2 in West Plains, Missouri did that. So
They did so well. Like Spoo's favorite cookie is called a Mexican wedding cookie, and we can hardly ever find them. And so Mandy had asked what our favorite cookies were, and I had said that one. I did not expect them to actually make them, but they made some for him, so that was great.
and they were delicious. So
Spoo was like, these are mine.
pretty much, yeah. He shared with me. I appreciated Spoo. Thanks for sharing. So,
But we had fun.
yeah, most definitely. Keith says congratulations, the new mom and nerds and baked goods.
Oh my God, that is a bakery name.
That would be a bakery name. I agree.
Goods. Baked nerds. Just baked nerds.
Sounds like maybe it's a bakery with more than just.
You know.
I don't know.
It's okay. It's okay. You open it in Colorado and you're fine.
Yeah, probably will be here soon too. All right. So one more comment here.
Yeah, my Roselle's daughter, Tika, my niece, she took several photos, especially at the reception, and got some great ones of me dancing with the kids, and because the grandkids were there, and Lex, and so that was a lot of fun for me. So I appreciate everybody.
Keith is laughing, I think, at our comments there about big nerds there. Yeah. All right. So we went there. We had a great 3 days at Oz-Con.
Yes.
We had a big booth because you had a booth and I had a booth, and we smushed them together, made one big booth, and sold all sorts of art there along with everything else. Figured out a couple of things we need to figure out for our next convention.
Yes.
That we're going to have a table at, but we will get that figured out. But yeah, I had a great time. And I have to say, so I stayed, and I know you stayed also, at the Holiday Inn there in West Plains.
Yes. It was amazing.
It was a wonderful hotel. The rooms were clean. The staff were uber nice. They remembered your name when you came in. The breakfast was wonderful.
Oh, the breakfast lady, Tina?
Yeah, she was amazing.
Hilarious.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
So there was something else that happened, though. Wanted to tell people. So I had got a picture for Morgan, got it autographed, did all this stuff, put it down, I guess, in the room. Didn't realize I put it in the room, and then I left it there, and just went off and forgot it. So I was scrambling around for a week trying to find this picture. Finally called the Holiday Inn, and they said, "Well, do you want us just to mail it to you? We've got it right here." I'm like, "Well, yeah, that'd be awesome." And I'm like, "Well, could you mail it to my friend Mandy, who it's going to?" And like, "Oh yeah." I'm like, "Well, tell me how much, and I will pay for the shipping." "Oh, don't worry about it, sir. We've got you." "What? You're paying the shipping on this thing for me?"
Nice.
"Oh yeah, we'll take care of you." I'm like, "Okay, so next time I come to West Plains to stay the night, I'm staying there because you have my service forever." You were amazing.
Good. They were so good. There's a couple hotels that Oz-Con suggested, and that's one that we were guests for Oz-Con. that they put us up at, and it's just an amazing, like that they were like, you guys need to stay here because you know they're they gave us a deal because we're Oz-Con people, that sort
Right.
of thing, and because there was a big group, but it was really a nice hotel. Um,
Very nice.
the thing I love about Oz-Con, and when people Oz-Con is not a con most people have heard of because it is very small.
Hmm.
It's still very small, but I kind of like that they're growing each year, but they're growing in a appropriate amount. Like they're not just
Right.
overwhelming themselves,
Right. Right.
slowly growing. Um, but just the people. Every year, I've been there except for the first year. Like their very first year, I did not go because I didn't know it existed.
Right. Right.
Michelle Warnick from Remember Me Jewelry and a couple other businesses, she had a booth their second year, and she was like, I need somebody to come help. And I barely knew Michelle, but I was like, okay, I mean, sure, I'll
Right.
help, and fell in love with it. The Just the staff alone make you feel like family.
They do.
So
They do. They take care of you really
they
well.
do, and they take care of their guests.
Yes.
I will say this, like we were listed as guests, but I always tell them, I'm like, I don't need a handler. I'm okay. I like walking around their con. Um, I like getting to talk to people, all that stuff. But the guests that come in, the celebrity guests that come in,
Right.
they do such a great job with them that they take them to dinner.
Hmm.
They they chauffeur them around, which is common, but to the point that I've never seen a guest leave OzCon disappointed in the fact that they came to this small
Right.
con in
Right. Right.
the middle of Missouri.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
So it's such a great thing.
They know how to treat people right. And I was a guest this year, which I was surprised, and I'm like, ooh, I felt horribly honored, and because I'm just like, oh my gosh, you guys want me as a guest? Wow, I that makes me feel really awesome. And
Yes,
then they always have treated me well, but it just almost it's just like every year it gets even better and better. So yeah, they're pretty awesome. So Keith has a couple things here, and
okay.
then we've got a couple other comments here. Everyone, yes, yes, they are awesome, Keith. You'll love it, my friend. You need to definitely come with us. I'll come back to your other one here, Keith, in just a moment, because we can definitely talk about that. Mandy said this.
Yes. You feel like you're getting together with a bunch of nerdy friends.
Right, right.
You don't feel like, even though it's a con, and yes, it does get busy on Saturday, um, it is still a smaller con, but the way they've grown it, and this is all props to the staff, um, and the volunteers, but mostly to the staff because they do this. They don't get paid to do this. This is a labor of love.
Mm-hmm.
They are amazing about wanting to make sure that even if things are going wrong, because it's a con,
Things
and the
go wrong.
organizers of the con, things go wrong.
Yep.
Even if things go wrong, they don't want people to see that. They don't want that tension to be out on the floor. I have never seen a staff member of OzCon on the floor upset, looking frazzled. They always
Mm-hmm.
look friendly, helpful, and, you know, upbeat. Now, I know them personally, so sometimes they get frazzled, and I've seen them do that, but never on the floor, and they will never let their guests see that, which is impressive in itself.
It definitely is. Always greeting with a smile, coming by to check on you, make sure everything's good, sending people by to watch your table while you do panels and all that. Yeah, it's an amazing crew. Just kudos to the whole staff, to the volunteers, everybody. You guys put on a heck of a con. So throw this comment up here.
We love you, Miss. We love that you could be there. And so, Marcel and her daughter and her soon-to-be daughter-in-law came down from Des Moines to
It's
be a part
amazing.
of the wedding. Now, herself came in like almost a week earlier and stayed at the house, and she stayed while we were at con. She stayed here and took care of Malice, my bearded dragon, for me, which I appreciate so much. On the honeymoon, Ashley would come over every day to take care of him, so that helps when you have people taking care of your animals. So
It most definitely does. Most definitely. Keith says this about the hospitality. Yeah, Keith, it's extreme hospitality. These guys, they treat every person who walks through the door like they're a star, and they're doing everything they can. They smile at everybody. It's just pretty amazing how awesome it is. Nobody, no, like you said, nobody's angry, nobody's upset, frazzled. It's just we're gonna smile, we're gonna treat people right, and it's a great way to grow a con. So.
yeah.
So Keith had a comment where he wanted to ask us about some things that have happened the last few weeks. Unfortunately, the passing of a couple of our great artists out there, Big Neil Adams and George Perez. That's really sad. Neil Adams, it was one of the greats of comics all the way back into the 70s and doing stuff. George Perez, and of course, started in the 70s doing Avengers, and then Teen Titans really got his fame really high, and he was just an amazing guy. I met George Perez at a very small con. Super nice guy. Talked to him about Teen Titans for like 20 minutes. He's wearing his shirt, his Hawaiian shirt, and he's just super friendly guy. He was super happy to hear from a fan. And of course, I talked to him on Friday, and then Saturday, of course, his table is swamped at this con because, of course, it's George Perez. So,
Yeah, I mean that's what happens with like I always tell people best time to go to a con is on Friday because the guests are usually there and they're not as busy.
right, and they're fresh.
They are. Saturday they're like overwhelmed. It's
Right.
just an overwhelming thing. So the thing is with artists, I always feel like they leave parts of themselves for the world.
Yes. Yes.
So even when they're gone, we get to see parts of them, which is most people do, but with artists, it's a visual representation of who they are.
Right.
Because
Right.
artists put part of their heart and soul
They do.
into their art. These were both iconic almost in the stuff that they've done.
Yes, I agree.
Um,
I call them legends.
yeah,
Most definitely.
even
Yeah.
if you don't like if you're just a novice comic book reader, you've seen their art.
Right.
And that's the thing. Like people have seen their art. They might not know, like you might not be the type of person like, we are, where you're like, no, I know who that artist is. And I know who
Right.
that artist is. And you can like recognize the artist by the art. But you have seen their art. And anytime that in somebody who contributes to things that you find enjoyment out of and that become part of who you are passes away, it's a sad thing.
Yeah.
It's kind of sometimes can be overwhelming, even if you never met them, even if you don't know them, because they put a part of themselves into that drawing and that comic,
Mm-hmm.
and then that drawing and that comic or that comic itself or those characters become a part of you, so they are a part of you. So it's always sad when we lose someone, and two in 1 week was really hard.
Was most definitely very sad. Neither one of them were currently still doing. They both retired. Unfortunately, George Perez had been sick for a long time, and Neil, I know I don't think that was unexpected either for him, but it was very sad to lose both of them. And the world of comics is less because of their passing. Now, we do have their art forever. I mean, it'll always, whenever I see a Batman that's Neil Adams, that, and Teen Titans, anytime I've, typically a George Perez Teen Titans had either a bunch of broken rocks everywhere or a bunch of broken glass. He was so detail oriented.
And that just tells you something about his personality. Like, I always tell people, you can tell people's personality by their art style.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not just detail oriented, but hyper focused on those small things to make it seem more real. That just lets people know that he wanted to. It was like enveloping. He wanted to envelop you into this world. It wasn't just, okay, I'm going to draw this thing and hope somebody likes it. It was, welcome to my world, welcome to my mind.
Right, exactly. So we have a couple of special comments here from Mr. Ace, the scallywag himself.
Mr. Ace. Aww.
That's sweet. And Keith followed that up by saying, and he followed up by replying,
you got
and it's all true.
I'm getting now. Look at this. You can say stuff like that. I don't. It's so weird to say husband and wife. It's still a very.
Aw,
strange.
these are such cute newlyweds there. Aw. So Keith says this. Mr. Cool. I don't know about that, and I laugh at that. I'm like, the one thing I've never been is cool. Now, geeky cool, maybe, but cool, I don't know. There,
Geeky is cool now. Like,
I don't know.
Growing up, it wasn't. Now it is.
I'm glad cool has become what I am. That's all I can say because.
You want it to be the other way around.
Your dear husband had this to say about me, so I'm not sure how I feel about being called the goat. Yes, I know it's greatest of all time. I get it, but when we called somebody a goat back in the '80s, that was not a good thing.
But it's hilarious. That's why he put "as the kids would say."
I know he did. So I thought that was funny.
If he just put it would be like you're like, dude, like you insulted me. Oh my gosh, that's so funny.
So it follows up by saying, for you. And Keith thinks I'm cool too. I don't know. Maybe cool with a K. I don't know. And where is Mr. Ace anyways?
I don't know if he's home yet, but he was at work. I came home early, so.
Came home early so you could get on here with us and talk about cool conventions.
Well, that and take a nap and do 3 phone interviews.
You've got that too. Yeah, that other stuff, that's important too.
It's fine.
Mr. Ace is correct. I think I have got a new nickname for Shmoo started. You were welcome, Shmoo. Mr. Ace.
Babe, you're going to be Mr. Ace. There you go. Oh, yeah. He's still at work.
Oh, 100 plus degrees. Yeah, goodness.
Well, because he, if anybody doesn't know what my husband does, that's so weird. He works so I work at the newspaper. I'm a writer for the newspaper here in Branson, but we print our own paper and we print other people's papers too. He works in the back, in the printing, near the printing press and all of that. And he's also our IT guy. So he has dual purposes at work. But
yeah.
There's no air.
So he's now, I think he has now cemented your couple name. Your couple name is now Space.
Space. No, remember, it's Spaj.
I know Space is kind of cool. I kind of like that.
It was when we first... Space. So when we first started dating, he would put music on CDs for us, so for road trips. and it was
He was making mixtapes for you. You knew it was love when he was making mixtapes. As
and,
an 80s child, that is like the ultimate you are in love when you're making mixtapes. Good job. That's awesome, Mr. Ace.
but it was uh Spage.
Spaging.
Spage's mix.
I love it. I love it.
Oh my god. But I do like space. Yes.
Fire. The unit is a fire hazard.
Yeah.
Boy, that's something else.
So we don't actually use the air conditioning at work. So they're gonna get it fixed though. Our boss is great. We do technically work together, but I'm up front and he's in the back.
Until you sneak off to the back.
We barely see each other at work. Once in a while, he'll walk by the office when he has to do an IT, or my desk when he has to do an IT thing, and he'll be like, "Hi," and I'll be like, "Hi." That's pretty much it.
I understand that.
Oh. No, he has an external hard drive that has probably, I don't even know how many movies and songs on it. It's crazy. He's collected for years. So.
And Keith says mixtapes means it's serious. I agree, Keith. That's exactly right.
He did put a ring on it.
And there you go. There you go. Just like the song says.
I mean, don't necessarily like the song, but that's okay.
I'm not really a huge fan either, but
Oh,
unfortunately, it's a catchy song that gets out there sometimes.
We've talked for 30 minutes on me getting married.
Yeah, well, it was Oz-Con. And that was kind of the pinnacle of Oz-Con, even though, Oz-Con had amazing guests, and Oz-Con had all sorts of great panels, and the floor was awesome. It was incredible. Even the people next to us were all right. But the distinguished competition was okay. They came in late, they left early, I don't know.
I love you both. I love you.
I know, I do too. You know I do. I'm just teasing. But the pinnacle was this wedding that happened that so many people weren't sure if it was really a wedding or not. Do you want to talk about that? Because that's kind of a fun story.
Oh, you can watch it on our page on Facebook or our YouTube. But we did live stream it. We had a Breakfast Club wedding where everybody who was in the part of the wedding party was a character from the Breakfast Club. Tim Church from the distinguished competition, the Nerd Informants, performed the ceremony. He was Brian, the brain. Shmoo, of course, was the criminal, because of course he is.
You gotta go for the bad boys, don't you?
I do. It's a thing. He looks like he's a bad boy, but he's really not. So he was Bender, which meant that I had to be Claire, which I'm actually happy I did. It was not my first choice. I'm more of an Allison person, the basket case. But my maid of honor, Ashley, was the basket case. Danny.
And she did a great job. So.
Oh, I know. She stole the show. Danny was the athlete, and then Professor here, he gave me away, and he was the principal.
Yeah.
The vice principal.
And there was some sort of ruckus going on in there. That's all I know.
It was just a lot of fun. We had a plan of what we wanted to do, but we didn't know all the details. So we actually rehearsed like 2 or 3 hours before the wedding.
Yep, we did.
And figured everything out.
And sort of got it. Timing, other things. Whatever.
It was funny.
It was great.
Cool to go to the wedding. I have been married before. Shmoo has been married before. We are not traditional. We met at a con. Our first public outing was at a con. So we met at VisionCon in 2013 or 14. I can't remember. I think it was 14. Our first public outing was Branson Con. And then right after Branson Con, we did Oz-Con, and we were the MCs because the Nerd Informants couldn't be there. And So, he's done cons for 20 plus years. I've done cons for 20 plus years. It just made sense that we get married at a con.
Mm-hmm.
Oz-Con was our first and only choice for the con to get married, just because we didn't want it to be disturbing the guests and the crew and the staff and stuff. We didn't want to be a problem. And I knew that, they would take care of things, but also I wouldn't want to stress anybody out. But we got married in the theater at the West Plains Civic Center, which is a really cool place to get married.
It is.
On stage, and we came out and performed a wedding ceremony / skit.
We certainly did.
People came up to me Saturday or Sunday, like the day after, because it was the last thing on Saturday, and who had been there, and they were just, anybody who was at the con could come in. Like, we didn't have a guest list. You didn't have to be invited. If you were there, come in and see us get married.
Right.
But it was, people came up and were like, was it real? And I was like, yeah, it was real. They thought it was a play. They thought we were putting on a play about what if Bender and Claire got married.
Which is a good what if story, but
it's such a true story. But it was a lot of fun, and just everybody did such a great job. Mandy did the background or the backdrop for us, which was a library, which was wonderful. We put the tables to where our best man and our maid of honor didn't have to stand up, because they weren't standing up. They were at tables. We stood up.
Right.
But no, I just had a lot of fun with it, and Shmoo did too. He was super happy. Breakfast Club is his favorite movie. It's in my top 5. So it just, it was just like a fun thing. Walking down the aisle, he did the fist bump. I did the fist bump. And then afterwards, we went to this great brewery in town in West Plains called Wages Brewery, who they do pizza, and they make their own beer. And the owner, Phil, was so great. I contacted him, I want to say in February, and I was like, hey, I know they do an after party there for Oz-Con. We would like to kind of maybe turn the after party into a wedding reception kind of thing. Is that possible? He, went above and beyond, found a karaoke guy who had the equipment so that we could do karaoke. It was just great. Everybody there is just amazing. So.
And one of the members of the distinguished competition had a great karaoke, I hear. So.
Oh, Mr. Church, you heard.
That found its way onto, like a GeekyKOOL website or something. That would be kind of fun. I don't know. I'm just saying, if it ended up there, whatever. It would definitely be geeky and cool. So I don't know.
It was amazing. Oh my God. So yeah, and then Sunday we went back, to the con and hung out with everybody and sold some more art and talked to some more people and just had a good time. And then
made googly eyes at each other. Yeah.
And we were smiley. We were really smiley.
Nothing wrong with that.
It was a thing. We were smiling.
And there was some amazing art there to pick up, and I came home with a bundle of cool art from you and Ashley. So I
can see the one from Ashley.
I know, right? Yeah, right back there. Yep, next to it is Spider-Gwen, so can't see it as easily right there. But yes, I've got that right there. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
We had my work, Dakota's work, my son Dakota, and Spoo's toy photography was there as well. So
very cool.
Yeah.
It was a variety of really awesome art that was available, and people, next time they come, they can pick up some of that really cool art. I'm just happy to have some really amazing originals. So, Anyway, so we've got a bunch of comments. So let's hit some of the comments here for us, and then we'll transition over and talk a little about VisionCon, because VisionCon was cool too. So, but I wanted to talk a little bit about Oz-Con because we hadn't had a chance to decompress and talk about the wedding and all that fun stuff. So, Mr. Ace.
That's his external hard drive.
Almost a terabyte of music. That's awesome. That is amazing. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm sure that's what they do at work. Go by and drop the note. Where they get a bandana and pick it up.
Babe, you got to start doing that.
And right, do you like me? Check yes or no.
No.
Depends on the day. No. This is what he follows this up with, because are you prepared? Here's what he says.
You're not supposed to say these things.
Well, you know.
Well,
just make sure to hang the tie on the outside of the doorknob, and all's good.
The door's always open. But yes, if we do give a little smooch, if we either go outside of the office, or he has a private office, like he has his own office. I don't. I'm like out in the middle of everyone.
Well, all I know is I'm envisioning him calling you into his office and the little foot raise kiss. You're like, gotta raise the back foot up because the kiss is so wonderful. See, there you go.
No, not quite.
I did not say that. It was not me. This is what Mandy says.
I have never thought about coming up with IT problems. Dude!
I can't get my mouse to work. Can you help me?
People would be like, okay, guys, get a room.
That's what the office is for. I mean,
I hope my boss is not watching this. But it does not happen.
We're just giving you a hard time.
I know. Oh, the wedding, yeah. So we couldn't do the music. If anybody's watching it on Facebook
Streaming.
or anything,
Yeah.
any of the streaming, because we don't have the copyright for the music, and so it had to be muted when the music was on. So there are parts of it that are like mute, and then when we're talking and stuff like that, except for when he's singing, because that's basically a cover.
Now, you guys do have a copy of that somewhere, don't you? With it,
Yeah.
Okay, so there is a hard copy of that out there with the music. It's not going to be available on YouTube, at least at this point, but you can we can see what we can do to get you a copy. Aw, thanks, Keith.
Love you guys. You guys are.
See him,
Mrs. Scallywag.
see him, Mr. Ace. Mrs. Scallywag and Mr. Ace. I like it. Thanks. Love you too. Mwah. Make sure to give that to him, okay?
I will. I'll make
All
it.
right. Just
I'll
give
be
it to
like,
him.
this one's from Larry, okay?
All right, and make sure it's the one with extra tongue for the one. I mean, that's not it. No, that's not it at all. Yay, Mandy ended up with the Wonder Woman.
She with the one fighting, like
Yeah, the one fighting. I remember her buying that, which is awesome.
By the way, that's never made. I've never made prints from it, so she's got the only copy in existence.
Oh, Keith thinks he may have a new name for you guys that may be even better than space.
It's fine.
Yeah,
Oh my god.
Awesome. All right, so let's talk a little bit about VisionCon, because VisionCon's always awesome also, and want to talk a little bit about them. Another 3-day con next weekend, and Friday through Sunday. You guys had planned to be there Friday. Things didn't work out, so you guys came up on Saturday. As you were leaving to go to your honeymoon and drive around, you guys stopped in, and that was so happy to see you guys there. That was amazing. We had a lot of really cool. There were a lot of cool stuff going on at VisionCon, and it always is. They had some amazing guests. There is a group of artists, Kaiju. Oh my gosh, I'm forgetting the name of it. Here, let me look it up because I should know this, and somehow I'm going on without it here. Okay, I'll figure it out later. Anyway, so several of our artist friends have banded together to create a group to kind of teach and mentor other people that are getting into art, along with being able to display their stuff and work as a group, which I think is absolutely amazing. Adam, Nate, and several other people are banded together. I'm just excited for them because I think that's such a cool thing that they're doing. And we'll try to have them on talking about that sometime in the near future. So I got to hang out with those guys, got to play D&D with Adam, and he was building all sorts of, he had styrofoam stuff that he made, so he's putting out landscape stuff, and I've never played D&D quite like that. It was pretty awesome. There was a group there of voice actors that are putting on an old-time radio show program, and it was incredible. These guys are out of the Lake of the Ozarks area. They operate typically at a coffee shop once a week or once a month, and they were amazing actors and writers. They were super funny and super happy to talk to me. And Keith nailed what I was trying to, clever kaiju. There we go. Thank you, Keith. I knew it was kaiju. I just was forgetting the other part. I don't know why, but and of course, Mr. Keith was at the convention.
He was. And I love my hugs.
I know. Keith gives great hugs. And Keith got up and talked in front of a panel. It sat there. Gary wasn't able to be there because of some life events that was going on. But Keith was there. It was an incredible panel. And, Keith, as always, was sharing things with us of how things are really going behind the scenes.
Right.
But there were some questions he was asked that he couldn't quite share yet because he had some inside scoop that just wasn't able to happen yet. And Keith loved your panel, loved having you there. Keith let me come sit by him for a little bit while my feet were tired. I know. Keith said, stopping in, "Oh, we love you, Keith." So
amazing.
So it was a fun weekend. It was exhausting. As I said earlier, going to a 3-day a 3-day convention is tiring as my age is no longer 20s or even 30s, yeah. So it's not as easy. And then doing it back-to-back weekends, I was like, oh my gosh, what have I got myself into?
And I will say this. Oz-Con is a small con. When we say that, it's everything is like really close together. They have like a couple panel rooms, the theater, and then everything else is in one big like our gymnasium.
Yes.
VisionCon is at the Expo Center in Springfield.
Right. It's a lot bigger.
And it's bigger and it's spread out, and there's upstairs and downstairs, and there's always something, like there's this room and that room downstairs, and then upstairs there's that. So it's a lot to take in. And
it is.
You can walk through the same room 4 times and always see something new.
That's exactly right.
But the best part about going to these cons for me is getting to see the people that I have relationships with,
right, in
social media world, that I don't actually get to see in real life a lot.
Right.
That's always fun. It's fun to see your friends.
Well, and I was going to say with that, we were missing a couple of people this year, which was sad. With Brandon, and of course, we all dearly miss both of them to death. But it really kind of hit me. I'm like, man, when have I been to VisionCon without seeing them here? And
I did love what the staff of VisionCon did with Brandon's picture.
I agree.
They blew it up, and there was a big standee of Brandon.
I know, and that was a great picture of Brandon. David, I wish we could have had something for David there. Just because every VisionCon I've been to, David's been there. Usually with Christy sitting there making fun of him and sticking her tongue out.
Rolling her eyes.
Rolling her eyes and then telling me to move along, which I always found funny because I'll be there talking. You're keeping people from coming and buying something. Move along. Thanks, Christy.
Really? She's never done that to me.
Well, she does it to me, but she finds it funny. And I'm like, I just kind of look at her and go, okay, all right, fine. I'll see you guys later. And she laughs. And then I come back and I'm like, all right. So.
She's always just like, if there's people, but I always step aside, and I know.
Right.
And there's just the thing. It's booth etiquette. If you're talking to the artist or whoever at the booth, if there's other people coming up and they're potential customers, you just kind of
right, because you don't want to take away. They're here to make money also.
Yeah.
Along with seeing friends and everything else, but yeah. So I really miss Brandon, really miss David, both a lot. So that was the hardest part of VisionCon, I think, other than just being exhausted, was missing a couple of friends that just weren't there. Christy showed up. I didn't see her, Keith. So Christy said, and missed. I know. Me too, Keith. Me too. Missed both Brandon and David severely. So,
I did like that.
VisionCon.
We were there when they brought Brandon's picture, like his standee out.
Right.
When they brought it out on Saturday.
And I got a picture of that, so because I thought that was amazing.
We got some video of it, and when they're bringing it out, I was like, I hope you guys aren't leaving it there. And they're like, what? And I was like, I hope you move it around, because the one he was never in one place.
Nope.
Like, you would see him out of the corner of your eye, and then like 3 minutes later, he's over here. Like, it was like there was 3 of him every time there was a VisionCon. So,
I think they would have loved if they would have discovered they actually had cloned him, and that would have been awesome. But yeah.
But no, it's really hard. One, it was hard going back, just because after COVID and stuff like that.
Right.
Going back, I missed cons.
Yes.
And you don't want to miss anything while you're there. So you're like walking around talking to every single person that you know and everything. You don't want anybody to think like, oh, she didn't miss me that much or stuff. So you go above and beyond. I went above and beyond this time than I usually do, just because I didn't want any of my friends to think, oh, I didn't miss them, because I did.
Right. No, I'm with you. Yeah. Well, and the cool thing was I got to meet some new friends, and I got to have a lot of fun, but also got to see some of my old friends. I got to have fun with them, and that's one of the great things about conventions, is getting to meet new people, along with being able to see those people you really enjoy. And I did attend several panels and had a great time with the panels. Like I said, got to go do a D&D, which I don't typically get to do at conventions. So I'm like, this was fun. So yeah. So
I didn't get to do any panels. We were only there for a few hours.
Right.
But we went from convention and getting married in a convention, coming back to work and finishing up some things that had to be done, working all week, then convention, and we left VisionCon on Saturday and drove and started our road trip for our honeymoon. So it was the last couple of weeks have been very busy.
Been extremely busy for you. So tell us, where else did you go for your honeymoon? Because tell people how you decided where you're going, because that's kind of a fun thing too.
So we went on a road trip. Every morning we would wake up and decide which direction to drive. We never had a plan. We had a plan one day. But basically we just picked a direction and drove. And then when we were driving in that direction, I would Google fun things to do within like 50 miles. And if there was something, we would stop and look at it. And we, of course, Shmoo is a huge horror person. I don't know if you can tell behind. But he's also, he's done ghost hunting before. I love all that stuff. So we went to some cemeteries. We, if there was a cemetery on the side of the road, we would stop. We ended up in Oklahoma. Well, we ended up in Joplin the first night, just because we wanted to like rest because we were exhausted after.
Right.
And then we ended up in Oklahoma for a little bit. Then the weather started turning bad, so we head north. So even though we picked west to go west at first, when we started hitting bad weather, we just readjusted. So we then went north and we went into Kansas. We ended up driving through like a circle in Oklahoma and Kansas, and then going like it was almost a figure eight, like, and then back up into Kansas. And then the first night we picked our hotel, but after that we used Priceline. And you can, on Priceline, they have like this special deal where they pick your hotel within 50 miles.
Oh, really?
Special price. They'll put 3 of them up there. So you're getting one of those 3. But it says, let us pick your hotel and save money. So we did that every single time, because why not? We don't, whatever.
Right.
We stayed and in several hotels that way. We did have the back of our van was set up to where we could camp. The weather did not allow that to happen, because I was not going to camp out in the van when it was pouring down. Every night it poured.
Right. It sure did.
And, if you have to go to the restroom, even if there's a restroom at the campground, I'm not getting out in the middle of the mud and walking to the bathroom in the middle of the night. I'm not doing that. I'm too old for that.
Myrtle's.
Right. But we ended up going, at one point we were in Olathe, Kansas, and that's where my grandparents got married. So we stayed there that night.
Aww.
And while we were there, I looked up fun things to do, and there was a haunted taxi tour.
Wow.
And we were going to book it for that night, but you take a tour and you get out and you get to walk around the outside of these haunted homes, either in Kansas City or Atchison, Kansas, which is one of the most haunted towns in America. And so he was like, we're really not doing tours tonight because it's raining. It's supposed to be clear tomorrow. So we ended up staying in Olathe for 2 days.
Oh, wow.
Because I booked it for the next night. That's the only thing we actually planned. While we were on the tour, we toured a cemetery in Atchison. We toured a railroad stockyard area.
Wow.
And then we went on a tour of the haunted houses. And on the tour is the Sally House. I don't know if you're familiar with paranormal stuff, you'll know what the Sally House is. It's ranked number 9 in most haunted homes in the world. And so Shrew was really excited. Just being on the outside of the Sally House taking pictures was like, he was so excited about that. And we're walking around, and there were 3 teenagers from Nebraska, college kids from Nebraska who were investigating inside, and they came out and were talking to our guide and Shrew, and they let us go into the Sally House.
Oh, wow.
We got to go into the Sally House for a little bit. Not a lot of time, but, we got to walk around it. And then we got to see the home Amelia Earhart was born or raised in.
Very cool.
Fun. And then, we did touristy things. We went to Union Station and Kansas, that sort of thing. And then we were going to come home on Wednesday, and we decided not to. We were like, we'll just go. So I've always wanted to go to Crystal Bridges, which is a museum in Bentonville. And so we drove down to Bentonville. We did the hotel thing again. They put us in this amazing hotel with a bar and downstairs. Like, it's a really nice hotel. They upgraded us without us telling them that it was our honeymoon. They upgraded us to a suite.
Oh, wow.
For $60 a night.
Dang.
Right, I know. So we were like, we could stay here another night. So we ended up staying in Bentonville for 2 nights, and then we came home through Eureka Springs and walked through Eureka Springs for several hours and went to the Basin and went into the Crescent Hotel. He's never been to Eureka, so
so he's not seen the Crescent. Okay, yeah.
And then we unfortunately had to come home.
That does happen. That is always the unfortunate thing about a vacation or a honeymoon is eventually it ends, you get to come home, but yeah.
we got some really great food on the way too. Like we did not stop at any big franchisee chain restaurants.
Good.
Only
Good.
stopped at places that were the only one we stopped at that was could be considered a chain was because they have like 3 or 4 locations in Kansas City, and that was Jack Stack.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You're like, so
Yeah. I like me some Jack Stacks.
right. So we stopped at the original one.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Is that the one down by the railroad tracks? Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah.
Yeah. So
that's my favorite.
We got some Kansas City barbecue that way. But we stopped at there were all the places we stopped. We stopped at a place called Granny Schaefer's, which was really good. Then down in Bentonville, we hadn't had sushi the whole time.
Yeah.
I love sushi. So we looked up sushi house or sushi places, and there was a 5-star sushi restaurant.
Ooh, nice.
And I'm like, I've never been to a 5, like on Google from the reviews, 5 stars, no negative anything. And it's called the Sushi House. And we went there, and it was like the best sushi we've ever had.
That's amazing. In Arkansas.
In Bentonville, Arkansas.
Go to Bentonville, Arkansas for the best sushi around.
And the hospitality was great. We got in, and we're getting ready to place our order, and they bring us miso soup, complimentary, just like here's some soup. And then they brought a roll. I'm allergic to avocado, so I can't do avocados on any of my rolls. They brought a roll. They brought 2 pieces of this roll, and they were like, this is complimentary, but it had avocado on it. I was like, I can't do avocado. So Shpoo ate it, and he said it was really, really good. But then because I couldn't do that, they brought tuna, seared tuna, ahi tuna, 4 pieces of seared ahi tuna, complimentary. Here, try this.
Oh, wow.
And then we ordered. So it was really good.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So we had a lot of fun. It was a relaxing trip, and Shpoo said it best. He posted on Facebook at one point. He's like, we've been in the car and constantly together for like a whole week.
Right.
And we still had fun, and we never got tired of each other, and we never fought, and we just went with the flow, and it was amazing. So
that is amazing when you think about being in a car that long with people. Usually you start getting a little upset. It's like, you're driving me crazy here.
Yeah.
So Keith's got some comments for us, and so yeah, I knew you were Planet, which is a bigger con there, and doing both of those, that's exhausting, Keith. So I'm with you, my friend. He also wants you to give Shpoo a hug. Maybe that's in here. Oh, nope. No, that was a different one where he said give him a hug. Love seeing you, Shpoo. All right. So Lebanon, Kansas. So
we drove through there, but we didn't stay there. It was one of those.
And he followed it up with in a van down by the river, which is actually what I was thinking earlier when talking about staying in the van. So I would say, been to the Winchesters' birthplace in Kansas, but that's not Lebanon. That's what is it? It's Lawrence, Kansas. They're from Lawrence, Kansas.
We drove through Lawrence.
She should stop and ask where the Winchesters were. Okay. Where's the Winchesters' home back in tour here? I want to. Sorry, it burned up, so you're done.
It was fun staying in Olathe though, because that is like my grandparents met in Kansas City, and then they got married in Olathe.
Aw, there you go. That's very sweet.
Yeah.
See, we were thinking, geek references, and here you are being all sweet. Stay where my grandparents did. Aww.
I mean, my grandparents were like, they were married forever, and then even after my grandfather died, my grandmother never dated anyone ever again. It's like,
yeah. My great-grandmother, her husband, my great-grandfather, who I never knew, passed away when my great-grandmother was like 50, I think, and she lived to be 103. So I'm like, good grief. Wow, that's a long time to be single because the love of your life has passed away. And
Yeah.
that's it. It's like, that's heartwarming. So, yeah.
Yeah. But
Well-
here's the thing about it. I've been married 4 times now. So sometimes it doesn't work.
The 4th time is the charm, though, for you. So.
No, he's not getting out of this. I told him, I was like, if you ever want to leave me, you can leave me, but you will never divorce me.
Well, I saw him swear the oath with the crossroads demon and all that. That if no. Actually, I told him right there that he had.
We
All
got
right, now you've got this one for the rest of your life. Got you.
Next year, Oz-Con, we're gonna have an anniversary party. It'll be fun.
And Keith does mention, yes, I knew that there was something with Lebanon, Kansas also. Couldn't remember what it was, but I knew it was a Winchester Brothers reference. But, yeah. Yep, see, so we're talking supernatural here. You're talking, oh, my grandparents were in love and we stayed where they did. And we're like, we want to know about the Winchesters, man.
Hey,
These
listen,
fictional brothers that kill demons and ghost hunts, yeah. Did you bring your salt and your iron with you to get rid of the ghosts if they attack?
oh my gosh. So, like, we went ghost hunting though. We totally did like
I know, but did you bring the salt and the iron, whatever iron you've got, to be able to stop the ghost from attacking you? That's what I want to know.
No.
No, okay, all right. So you gotta be careful ghost hunting because they might start hunting you back. And
that is a thing, but my family in Cherokee Indian and Irish Traveler, there are other ways to protect yourself.
Well, that's true. I'm just thinking Winchester is what they would do. They grab the salt and.
Oh yeah,
salt.
they're very like. I'm like, here's my crystals. You can't touch me.
Can't touch this. Yeah. All right. Well, we've talked for quite a while about this, which is amazing, and I love that we got to talk about these 2 wonderful conventions that we went to, about your wedding, about your honeymoon. It feels like we're just catching up, and this is wonderful. So.
Yeah, no, it's a thing when you're a public person, I guess.
Wait, did you think 3 years ago, 1, you would be a public person, and 2, that you would have a wedding that would be broadcast, and 3, that you would have to worry about being the star that people want to know about and give names to?
1, when I become a star, I'll let you know.
You're a star. You're always a star.
2, no, I'm so, how long it took you to convince me to do this.
I know. That's why I said it that way.
3, I never planned on getting married again.
I know you didn't. That was the other thing. Your wedding's going to be live streamed. If I would have said that to you 3 years ago, you'd be like, whatever.
I would have been like, okay, whatever. It's got to be a big wedding. Like,
Right. We're going to do a skit to the Breakfast Club with them getting married. That's what we're going to do.
yeah. But no, there was a license and everything. So my byline has changed in the newspaper. It now
I've
says
noticed.
mayor. So
We probably need to update that on GeekyKOOL.
I literally just thought that. I was like, I haven't changed that on GeekyKOOL yet.
Yeah, I thought about it, but I thought I'd wait for you to decide when you were ready for that. So.
Yeah, we'll change it. It's a thing. I am taking his last name, which is going to be weird because what people really don't know is that I've only ever taken one husband's last name. Like, I've been married 4 times, and I've only ever taken one of the 4's last name. So this will be 2.
See, there you go.
And the only reason I took the second one's last name was so he couldn't find me, which sounds weird, but it's a true statement.
Wow, there you go. Yep. I mean, deciding whether or not to take his last name was a fair decision.
Oh my God.
Sorry. For people that don't know, AJ's new last name is Fair, but not spelled the way people think. In fact, when people see it, they think it's far and away or far. Yeah.
But it's fair. It's like the first part of Fahrenheit.
Yeah.
What I came to find is like
because they're smoking hot.
he's actually related to the guy who invented the Fahrenheit.
Really? That's interesting. Did not know that.
I didn't know that either until I was like, yeah, people are gonna say my last name wrong forever.
Well, you know, and here I go and joke on Facebook about it, and people think it's.
Oh my god, that was so funny. I was like, fair assessment. Fair assessment. We almost did, like, somebody said we should do a My Fair Lady wedding because I became a fair lady. So.
Yes, you did.
But, you know, that would have been way more time consuming. We just wanted it easy. Easy wedding.
Well, in his favorite movie, one of your top fives, that makes the most sense.
It fit us so well. Plus,
yes.
Here's the thing. You go to weddings a lot. Like, I perform ceremonies because I'm an officiant. I've been to hundreds of thousands of weddings. You want something memorable, but also we didn't want it to be just like lovey, 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 lovey. Like, we wanted the people who were watching to laugh.
Right.
And they did. So,
that they did.
It was fun.
And even those of us that were in it had a good time and laughed. So, yeah. So Keith says he always has his salt and iron. Always a good idea if you're going to go ghost hunting, Keith. Have something and bring AJ with her crystals and see. There you go. AJ and Spoo's most excellent adventure.
You guys cracked me up. Oh.
Yeah, there you go. Woo, party on. All right. So I think we're ready to wrap up, unless we want to talk about something else.
No, but not for a long time. But the next con I think we're going to is Heroes for Kids. Is that correct?
There's another one in June that I think at least I'm going to. So we'll talk about that offline. But yeah, we need to talk about Heroes for Kids and talk to those guys. Get some people on here to talk with us about that. But there is another one coming up that we'll be talking about here. So
very cool.
So yeah, you were a little busy with wedding and post-wedding stuff that I'm.
Is it the one that Mr. Keith's involved in?
It is that one. Yes, it is.
I figured we'd be there.
Yeah, most definitely. So we'll be talking about that very soon in the near future. What's coming up there, and talking about Heroes for Kids Con too. So we'll be talking about both of those. Let's see here. Here Keith says, I was fairly certain. Yeah.
Well done.
Yeah, she's like, okay, go back to pushing our names together for space again.
Space is funny.
Space.
That's hilarious. That's our like. Why do people do that with their names? Like,
I don't know. It's when you're a star, that's what happens. So that's why you two are getting it pushed together.
Sure.
Yes, it is Tremendicon. Yes, I knew what it was. I just figured since we were talking about two other conventions, but Tremendicon is in June, and we will be talking about that, and we'll have some people on to talk about that here very soon.
Cool.
And Doctor Strange, Mom. I've not seen Doctor Strange yet, Keith.
I have not either.
So
I'm so disappointed.
Well, I planned to go last Saturday and woke up in the morning with a migraine, and that set my day on that kind of path. So
Professor, we should go.
We need to go see it. I agree.
We'll just go together.
We can go together and cover it.
Yes.
Then we can review it.
Oh my God, yes.
I'm in. Just tell me when. So we're good to go. So. All right, everybody. Well, let's. You want to give our typical goodbyes, because it's been a while since we've done these.
I know. Oh my gosh, let me see if I can remember everybody. Oh, of course I can.
If we can't, we'll make it up. So.
First of all, Oz-Con, right? We have Oz-Con. We have the Oz-Con gals. Now that is Amber and Brianna, and they're on Facebook on Thursdays at 6 p.m. Go give them a like. Check them out. Super fun girls. And just so cute and like nerdy. Like nerdy girls.
Right.
Um,
The kind that you just hope you'll meet someday. Here these ladies are. So
yes, they're amazing. So check them out. Be sure to tell them that we sent you over there and that we love them because we do.
oh,
Brianna was actually the coordinator for the wedding
she
at home.
was.
So
She did a great job.
she did. Then we have Mr. Keith.
Mr. Keith.
Pull that up there. Okay. Oh, yeah. First, Keith and Gary over at Pop Culture Minefield on YouTube. Now they're going to give you all kinds of insights and inside scoops and just amazing information. And they know everyone and they know what's going on with everything.
They do.
So be sure to check them out.
And they have, I think, 3 shows now going on, including a couple on Saturday. So make sure to check out their schedule. They've got a schedule Friday, Saturday morning, and I think it's, you can correct me on this, Keith, when the other one is. I think it's Saturday afternoon, but that may be wrong. And then I also know they go live with things as those times present also. So,
yeah. Now, just a warning. We over here at KOOL keep things PG 13ish sometimes.
Yeah.
We love Keith and Gary. Gary does use language that may not be appropriate for younger viewers. So pop on the headphones and listen to him and laugh and learn some things. Just make sure, unless you're the type of parent who you're like, my kid hears it anyway, so it's fine.
Right.
But just that little note.
If you're watching PG-13 movies from the 80s, they're probably using some of the same language there.
Yes. It's a thing. We need to do a whole show on that and how the ratings.
Well, because it's fascinating that movie ratings, you can't get away with nearly as much now in movies as you did in the 80s, but on television it's the opposite. You get away with so much more and say a lot more things you couldn't say then. So we need to talk about that. That'd be a fun topic.
That would be a good topic. Now, Keith has his own show.
He does.
Well, and that is Keith Chimes In. And that is over on the Fat Steven Seagal Show on YouTube, 3 p.m. on Mondays. And I have not, unfortunately, been able to keep up with my YouTube watching for the last couple of weeks, so I'm not sure what he's talking about. It's a thing. But it's Keith, so you will learn something and you will be entertained because he's amazing.
And Keith did give us an update here. So Morning Coffee with Gary, 10 a.m. every morning is the latest show on YouTube. So on YouTube there, so you guys can check that out. That's a heck of a way to start your morning. So unfortunately, I'm usually in the middle of work at that point, but if I wasn't working, that would be a laugh a minute to tune in for Gary there for.
What's great about that, though, it's on YouTube, which means on your lunch break, you can have some morning coffee with Gary.
I sure can. And I have a feeling it's not decaf if it's with Gary.
See what I did there, Keith? I got you.
Yeah, see, I like that. That's right on.
Oh my gosh. Then we have to talk about our distinguished competition, as Professor calls them, the Nerd Informants on YouTube.
Woo!
Facebook. That is Tim Church and Josh Grisham. They're amazing and fun, and they do a lot of movie reviews. If you go like them on Facebook, you're in the Branson area, they do movie ticket giveaways when a new movie comes out, and you go see a movie with the Nerd Informants, which is super fun, and that's at the Branson IMAX, which is one of their sponsors. So,
and you've got to experience that a while back.
We did, yes. We won tickets to see a show. I love going to the IMAX, and so the Nerd Informants are their official movie reviewers for the IMAX. So go check them out. Also, they have done something amazing. They have created a page just for nerds.
No way.
Whatever they want, as long as it's appropriate, on Facebook. And that is Nerd Informants Beyond. So you can add your own things, your own cool, geeky stuff. If you have questions about something, if you just want to talk about something, you find a fun meme, go and post it on Nerd Informants Beyond. They love that. So Be sure to check them out. And then we have my husband.
What?
So weird.
Mr. Reese.
The Scallywag himself, and that is Scallywag Productions on YouTube. He will be posting some new things because his videos that he's got to do for Oz-Con, and he has videos that he's got for VisionCon, and then our honeymoon, we took some videos and the haunted.
Those do cost you extra. It's $49.99. I'm sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
Wrong kind. We're
oh, oops. Sorry.
But of some of the haunted places we went, we took some videos of some of those haunts and really cool places. So I think he's going to be putting some of that together for YouTube as well. But he's also on
That's
Instagram
awesome.
and Facebook. He does a collectible of the day. While we were on our honeymoon, literally he picked up so many new toys. He's got, I don't know, like every place we went, every time we went, we found a comic store, and he would go in and dig through their toy selection, and we found stuff. We found a Xena for Tim Church over at
Oh, yeah, you did. I did see that. That's amazing.
So be sure to go check it out when you're over on all of these people, these amazing, geeky, nerdy webs or Facebook pages, YouTube, Instagram. Be sure to hit like, subscribe, comment, share. One, it helps us get seen on the algorithm a little bit more, but it also lets us know that you like what you're seeing on our channels and on our Facebook pages. So be sure to do that. And then there's us. You can find us on Facebook. But you can also find us on our own website, GeekyKOOL.com. And as my husband would say, it's the one-stop shop for all things nerd.
Yes, he would. So
he'd say it way better than I did.
Well, I don't know about that.
He has that radio voice.
He does have the radio voice going with it. Just a few things here from Mr. Keith. Says about Keith's show lasts as long as coffee does. So there you go. Love that. He's sending some love to the Nerd Informant and
love the Scallywag. Join the Spoo Crew. Oh my God.
Spoo Crew.
That's beautiful.
That sounds like a comic book thing there for sure. Captain Carrot and the Spoo Crew or something.
Spoo Crew.
So make sure you guys do check out all of our friends. Check us out. And let us know if you're enjoying our content. We hope to have this back to regular weekly content for you and be letting you know when that's going to be. If it's, it looks like it's probably going to be 7 o'clock typically now, just because of a schedule change. So,
right.
So we're going to do that.
It'll either be Tuesdays or Thursdays.
Tuesdays or Thursdays. There we go. So stay tuned. At the same bad time, same bad channel. And we will bring you some fun content. So until we see you guys next week, stay geeky, and we'll see you later.